Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to the Inbound Wins podcast featuring Ryan. Ryan, thank you for joining me today. Guys, I've got a very exciting session for you today, in the sense that I've got a really sort of exciting, I would say, I was going to say up and coming, but some of the things he's done already, I think he's well up there with the big boys. Today's session will be speaking with Ryan Bakra. Am I saying that correctly? Yeah. Ryan is a young entrepreneur. He's nominated in 2020 as part of the Asian Business Award as the Young Entrepreneur of 2020. So that's a nomination there. He's delivered over £7 million worth of property. So that's over 100 flats built before the age of 24. Really exciting. His company, he's got an in-house team, in-house management. So they manage all their projects in-house, they control all the finances in-house, and they also do the asset management in-house. Really exciting session for you. There's plenty of golden nuggets to be dropped today. Hopefully, I've got my notepad and pen ready to go. Ryan, without further ado, let's get cracking. How's it going, man? Thanks for joining.
Well, thanks yourself. Thank you for having me on your show as well.
Yeah, no, all good. Right, look, I think everyone's probably wondering, man, you're 23 right now, done over £7 million of property. How on earth did you get started? Where did it all begin?
When I was about 16, just left school, I did an apprenticeship in civil and structural engineering, bit of project management. I was working a lot with the house builders, doing a lot of the big housing schemes. And then basically just decided to start out by myself, did a few small projects and built it up. And then recently I've been buying a few properties, doing a lot of flips, retaining a few, doing a few rentals. Just basically over the period of 3 or 4 years, just going from sort of doing terrace houses to doing blocks. And we've got a few projects in the pipeline. We're going to be doing a few new builds as well.
Okay.
Trying to focus on a lot of urban regeneration projects in sort of key locations in the city centre, student accommodation, a bit of PRS, a few luxury homes.
Yeah, okay. You're based up in Leicester, isn't
Leicester at the moment, yeah.
Leicester. Okay. Are most of your projects up there?
Scattered around Leicester, Leicestershire. A few of our new projects won't be in Leicester though, but majority of it is still sort of Leicester, Leicestershire.
Okay, yeah, fair play. That's interesting. I think, for me, I'm wondering, I sort of understand the journey for most sort of property developers. You start off with, your book standard houses or flats, flip, and then just keep on sort of recycling that cash pot until you get into larger deals through, different financing methods, whether that be yourself and raising it with other individuals. But rewind back to sort of you've done the apprenticeship, not the apprentice. Hopefully you should be doing that soon. You've done the apprenticeship. What were the steps, before you started getting into your first property deal? Where did the financing come from? Where did the whole property thing come from? Because most people, they don't actually come from a property background. They either see someone else doing well from it, they get into it themselves, or someone in the family is involved in property, so you just get pushed into that direction. For you, what was that?
So it was always sort of table talk for me. So a lot of my family are in property.
Okay.
They do a lot of big property deals, small property deals. They do quite a lot. But for me, I didn't always know I wanted to go into property. I think it was when I did my first project, I knew that this was quite exciting. I think being on site with the builders, that's basically where my heart is. I love it, being on site. Different problems every day. It's never an easy day, to be honest with you. And I think after I did my first project, I sort of built up a track record of projects. I act on behalf of investors on their projects. I do my own projects. Obviously, we do our own asset management. We've got a field of sort of things that we do in property as well. So we might even procure a site on behalf of an investor and then act on their behalf and do the deal and take a share in the deal as well.
Okay, that's interesting.
So many things.
Yeah.
I think you have to be open to different avenues in property as well, because there's so much you can explore it.
Yeah. Okay, we get onto that sort of raising finance with investors and taking a profit share. So you came from a background of property investors, so to speak. How did they sort of influence you? And how old were you when you sort of got started and actively were doing sort of deals?
I think my first deal was, I think I was 19, to be honest.
19. Okay.
Yeah, 19. I did terrace house three or four terrace house conversions into HMOs.
Okay. Gee, yeah, yeah. What made you do that? Out of curiosity.
It was just like anything, you take the opportunity, and then if something comes, either fly or you fall. But if you don't try, you never know. But to be honest with you, the first deal I ever did, I think I painted the whole house without even running the electrics or the plumbing. So I was a rookie back then.
Oh
But
man, yeah,
you live and learn.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Or was that in Leicester?
I think that was in Leicester. But every project you do, you learn something else. And some of the projects that we're doing at the moment, we're flying through. I could give you an example of one we've got on site at the moment. It's only week 16 or 17. That's for 54 apartments. And we've got kitchens being fitted at the moment as well. That's basically from bare shell. So new stud walls, running new services throughout. So we're doing quite well on the new ones as well.
Yeah. Okay. So you went from, of course, HMOs to doing obviously £7 million of a property. So I think a lot of people, and I'm not going to move on until I get an idea of what happened in between. So with that first property, it was a 3 or 4 bedroom, right?
Yeah.
Converted it into HMO. So you've done all the necessary things that you needed to do, bar obviously checking you need to do the electrics for painting. Where did you get the funding for that property? And how did you find it? How did you source it? You're 19 years old. What research did you do? Did you get some assistance? Like, what's the whole?
That one was with a family member. That first one was, and then I think a lot of people started contacting me after that.
Okay.
For property deals, I sort of put a few pictures up, and then now I think even in a period of a week, I'll probably get 2 phone calls from new investors saying, "Have you got property deals for us? There's something we can invest into where we can have you either run it or be a shareholder, or if I'm looking for investment." There's always, I think, once you've got a strong track record of delivering projects, I think it's doing the first one, and after that, for me personally, everything just starts to flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the agents will definitely, if they know you're serious, they'll definitely bring you deals as well.
Yeah.
From my experience, anyway.
Yeah. No, I found the same thing. I remember. I think because I started off with brokering the deals, so this is before I even knew the whole industry was called deal sourcing and all of this stuff. Because I was working for a property company, and I realized. The hard part was just getting that first deal over the line. The first client, I remember being
the first one was hard. Yeah, I think you have to you sort of have a point to prove to yourself,
yeah,
and to everyone else. Because I think within the construction industry and real estate, your reputation is key. You're only as good as your product.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I've had a look at some of your products, and they're really, really well thought through, and like I said, a really good sort of delivery. So when you mentioned people sort of started contacting you, started posting, was this on social media, or was this within sort of family circle, your community, or who are the first sort of people?
LinkedIn is a big. I think LinkedIn was the main thing.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Okay, no, that's interesting actually. Because
I do see a lot of developers posting on Facebook and stuff like that. I can't say I've ever been contacted through Facebook though.
Really?
No, to be honest. LinkedIn was the one.
Well, was that a conscious effort? So what I mean by that is, because you're 19 years old at the time, you've done your first HMO deal with the assistance of part of your family members, and of course your own sort of drive. What made you now turn around and say, okay, let me market myself on LinkedIn and attract investors? Was that a conscious decision, or was it just like
everybody? If you go into business, you've got to have a growth plan. You've got to. I mean, if you're in property, you've got to have someone to finance your deals.
Yeah.
You finance every deal you've got with your own money, you're going to run out of money.
Yeah.
You finance everything.
Okay. Yeah. And with that as well, for example, like how did you, how were you even aware of, like, let me raise money, or, I've run out of money on this particular deal? Because with that HMO deal, how did it go, by the way? Do you still have it? How did you go from?
So with that one, we managed. So basically, we did the deal on behalf of an investor, and we managed the property for the next sort of, I think it was 5 or 10 years.
Okay, you did.
We still managed that property. That went from being, I think it was $750 a month. The rental income on that now is £1,600 a month.
Okay, yeah,
So that's a good,
decent, yeah,
good return, and massive difference between 750 to 1600.
yeah. No, of course. Did you? So you pretty much done the works for that, and now you're carrying on managing it. So from there, was that at that point, was it a case of, okay, now I've got to do my own deals, or?
Yeah, after that, it was sort of like, I've proved the concept works now. I need to start doing my own. So we do our own housing stuff. We work with a lot of clients as well. Do big office block conversion. This year we've done six deals.
Okay. Oh, this year.
This year we've done 6. Yeah, I think just during COVID we did 3.
Yeah, as in complete, like closed off on them, and now works are commencing, or completions?
No, I think practical
completions.
Yeah.
Okay. That's decent. So do you blend your financing with a blend between sort of investor finance and, of course, your high street, or high street banks, etc.? Is it a blend, or makes a match?
Yeah.
How did you get about doing that? Like, in a sense, because obviously,
Usually, definitely your track record.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you use part of your, because I'm just working out in my mind. I'm 19 years old. I've gone from doing a project with a client on behalf of the client, and then obviously slowly sort of scaling up through sort of marketing through LinkedIn, because I'm just trying to map out a path, because I like to sort of dissect the pathway. Do you know what I mean? To get an understanding. Okay, you're here. You started at this point. What are the steps? How did you sort of get at each milestone?
Honestly, it just sort of happens quick as well.
Map it out for us. Map it out.
The last 4 or 5 years have just gone past so quick. But I would say for anyone who wants to scale up, you need to have your team needs to be. Your team's the main thing, from your builders to your engineers to your architects, anything on site, and then obviously your agents giving you deals as well. You've got to work with your agents.
Yeah,
it's persistence, isn't it? Really, with anything, I don't think there is really a formula. I think you just go at it and just hope for the best. To be honest.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. When you're amongst, like,
to be honest with you, I never would have thought we would have been at this stage in, at the age of 23. I wouldn't have thought it myself, but here we are, and
okay, no,
maybe in the next 4 or 5 years we've got some big sort of growth plan in place. So
looking back at it as well, because I know we're going sort of back and forward. Looking back at it, so you've gone from that point, so marketing through LinkedIn, around, you're like 19 at this time. When did you finish the apprenticeship? The apprenticeship?
2 years, I think. It was 18.
Okay, so 18. So you're just before your 20s.
To be honest, this wasn't my first business though. I did have another business before.
Hey, now we're getting into it. Now he's opening up.
But
all right, guys, I'm going to get the golden nuggets today.
The first business was a bit of a shambles, I'd say, to be honest. But I opened a milkshake shop, but I don't know what I was thinking at the time.
A milkshake shop, interesting.
Yeah, I didn't. To be honest, from when I was in school, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew I'd always be an entrepreneur. Most of my family are entrepreneurs. My dad was an entrepreneur. My mum was an entrepreneur. So I always used to dibble and dabble in things, selling drinks at lunchtime. Started a few small businesses online. Yeah, I think the property one is definitely the most lucrative.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think everyone's, I'm not sure we should admit it, but done those playground trades and things like that, which helps you sort of build up to that. How important is it, though, do you think, to try different ventures, fail at them, and then just keep on
I
pressing
think
forward.
if you stick at the same thing, you're always going to get the same results. You've got to try different things, whether it be in property, whether you go from student accommodation to private housing, or private housing to retirement homes.
Yeah.
Even different industries. I mean, there's so many avenues within just property that you can make money from.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Definitely diversify yourself.
Okay. Yeah. So essentially, you got involved in various different ventures. Milkshake shop, wouldn't actually guess that.
No, well, I don't really tell too many people that story, to be honest.
Okay, yeah. So that got sort of shut down. And then obviously it seemed that you just focused on the property. So I'm just working out. So after that, you finished the apprenticeship. You're also doing, at the time then, you were also doing the HMO deal.
Yeah, I think it sort of went from, maybe when we were closing down the milkshake shop, it was probably a week gap between doing that deal as well.
Okay. Yeah. Oh wow. So a week gap, got into that, and then
since then, I've not focused on anything else.
Okay. Cool.
I think that's when I really found my passion, being on site. It's just, I mean, you know yourself, so.
Yeah. Okay. No, fair play. So you went from there, started marketing LinkedIn, raising money for your projects. Tell me about that part of your journey. So you the HMO's behind you. You're like, wow, it works. And this is the model. I just need to rinse and repeat. So after that, did you now start doing profit shares, or were you just doing the build, doing the project management, and then obviously finishing the site?
I'm trying to think what deal we did after that. We did quite a few HMOs for the first sort of year and a half. I think we did another one HMO after that, and then we did a house on behalf of someone. And then we sort of went into, and then we went straight into a commercial deal. We converted a warehouse into 27 apartments. That was a really, really hard project, though.
What was
really
that?
hard. Just the structure of the building. It was a listed building. The windows, like a roof conversion. We had to reinforce the roof trusses to get flats up there. Yeah, that was really hard.
Yeah,
but it turned out really well. I think that was a massive learning curve for me, that there's good value in HMOs, but sort of the commercial deals are where you're going to make your bread and butter, and it's more exciting as well. Yeah, the money's a plus, to be honest. I think actually seeing, the start to the finish that's where the real value is. Yeah.
So talk me through that sort of commercial deal. So you've done a few houses and then got into the commercial to resis. Talk me through the numbers.
That was a warehouse conversion to resi, and then we went from there. We did a few smaller ones, and then we did another office conversion to 23 units.
Okay. Cool. And that warehouse to resi, how many units was that at the end? What did you guys squeeze out of that?
That was 27 units. That was
27 units. Okay.
That's this building actually, where I am now.
Oh, is it? Fair play. Fair play. 27 units. What was what were the numbers behind that? The time frame? How long did that take from start to completion?
I think that was 10 months. That was 10, 11 months.
10 months. That's not.
But this building here gets some of the highest rents in this part of Leicester City Centre. Got a good asset manager as well, Theo. He does all the rentals. In the first year we had a waiting list for this place.
Really?
Yeah, these are some of the biggest studios in Leicester. It's really top end.
Are they all studios?
No, there's 4 bed flats here as well.
Okay, 4 bed flats. Yeah.
But they're really high spec as well.
Yeah. No, I'm just taking a look actually. Yeah, they are really done. Really nice finish. What were the numbers on that? So 27 units. Where did you get the site from? What were the numbers, costs, and then value?
I'd have to look at that and go through it with you.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. No, that's actually That's interesting. So, did you, in terms of that guy Theo? Because I think I've seen him around social media.
Hmm.
That guy. So that's quite
Yeah,
interesting.
he's got a massive sort of social media presence.
Yeah.
Massive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair play.
He's
So,
like the go-to guy for the students, to be honest, because this is a student block.
mm, so with a lot of these, do you have like an end? Of course you do, but in terms of your exit, typically, are they built to rent or
I'm focusing on a lot of flips at the moment.
flips? Okay.
A lot of the housing stuff I'm focusing on at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
We're
Why is
doing a
that?
lot of rental. We're just, I find it a lot more fun, to be honest, with with the flips. Designing the house, but we do everything there. We'll do like kitchens, the flooring, the carpets, everything from top to bottom, and you know, we'll even supply the beds if we need to.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I find that a lot of people want to move into a house that's ready made. They don't want to be you know, putting the carpets down. And
Yeah.
I'll share with you some of the stuff we've been doing as well, because there's a lot of stuff that we've done that we've not actually put out there as well. We've not got a massive social media presence, to be honest. And Theo's always telling me as well, you need to get us out there a bit more. But
Yeah. No, I was wondering when I first came across you. Obviously, we met over Instagram, and I saw you posting some serious value and some some
yeah,
gems there. And I didn't quite work out what's going on. Why don't you have like 10, 15,000
yeah,
followers? Which is interesting because I think social media. What do you think about that? Anyways, I mean, moving forward with your business, going.
yeah. To be honest, I just post a couple of pictures here and there, a couple of videos. I don't really take it that serious on social media. But I know there's a lot of people that do take it serious, and it seems to be working for them as well. So it might be something we'd look into. But me personally, I think my focus is on other things in the business rather than growing it from on social media. I don't think it's going to add that much value to us. It might help other people on their journey, which is by all means that's great. But from a business aspect, I don't think it will take us to the next step we need to be in.
Yeah, no, okay, that's interesting because you get a lot of people. For instance, maybe I sort of agree as well on that, but also you get a lot of people who say social media is a massive factor for their business if they're doing it correctly with a plan, as opposed to just randomly posting, randomly doing. There's actual structure and a strategy behind their marketing. But so what you're saying is for you at this stage it doesn't add much value, or is it just a time element?
I mean, I think, to be honest, I've not really trialed it that much. I mean, not really putting myself out there that much either, but see how it goes, and if it does add some value, then there's no harm in trying.
Yeah. Okay. No. Cool. Tell me a little bit about for some people who are listening, being on site. What's your sort of day-to-day role? What do you enjoy most about it? What do you hate? What the challenge is?
I think there's a challenge every day, to be honest. There's always something. I think you have to be on site to realise, what it's about. Going from trying to get bathrooms in to kitchens not fitting and builders walking off site is part and parcel of the game. You've got to. I think the best thing for me on site is when there's a problem and you overcome it, or from the start to the finish, where you see it being gutted out, bare brick, back to the shell, and then putting the walls up, running the services, and then handover with the tenants, because obviously we do every single part of the process. I'll sort of get it to a certain stage, and then Theo will take over with the tenants. That's how we work, and he'll deal with them on the asset management side, the move-ins, making sure everything's ready for the snag.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. And with those, are you very much sort of hands-on in the sense that you live and breathe the site? There's some me personally.
Yeah, a lot of people would like that though. A lot of people would rather not go on site, but me personally, I'd rather be on site.
Yeah. But does that mean that you might be missing out on other parts of the business, or probably not?
Yeah, I mean there is that, but I'd rather have 3 projects running at the same time, and make sure they're done thoroughly and that we don't have to go back and there's no issues, then have 5 or 6 running at the same time and you're just darting from place to place. For me, it's about making sure it's quality over quantity as well. I know if I'm on site that everything's going to get done properly. If I'm not there, you don't know whether it's going to get done properly or not.
Yeah, no, that's actually quite interesting because you get a lot of people who say delegate, do as much.
Me personally, I'm a bit more, I wouldn't say hands-on. Like I'm not going to get on the tools, but I'll be on site.
Yeah, cool. No, that's quite cool, and that's your model basically. Essentially, churn out these units, get them handed over, rinse and repeat, pretty much. Yeah. Have you ever sort of faced a massive sort of challenge where you were like, what is going on? I'm, out my depth there at all.
Yeah, I have, and that's how you grow though, because you speak to different people regarding those issues, and you sort of get a solution, or you figure the solution out yourself. I'd say there's a lot of time where I have been put in a lot of positions where I've been out my depth a little bit, but I mean that's how you grow, isn't it? If you never overcome those problems, you're never going to know how to.
Yeah. No, definitely. What resources have you used sort of to help you? Was it sort of mentors, family?
I've got a good network actually. I know a lot of influential people around the Midlands and down south that have done a lot of property deals. I've got a very good network actually, and not just in property, a lot of businesses. I think my name is not my name, but like within the Asian sort of community, there's a lot of businesses that come off. So I think it's easy to speak to people as well.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's super important. I think having a strong network of people behind you, whether that be within property or in business.
Yeah.
It just, I'm not saying everyone's on the same journey or gone through the same things, but they sort of cross over. Having the right network is massive, especially for just those leapfrog, wins, like yourself. You know what I mean? Have you had like many key influences in your life so far?
Yeah, a lot of family members.
Directly or indirectly?
A lot of family members. In terms of like mainstream entrepreneurs, though, Warren Buffett's a good sort of example of a sort of long-term investor. Elon Musk is doing amazing, to be honest with you. I really do read into his stuff. He's sort of changing the game at the moment, isn't he, with his cars and space shuttles. Yeah, I think family's been main key for me, just support-wise as well. You definitely need a good support network behind you, just mentally as well, because it can get quite draining within this industry.
Yeah. How do you juggle? Sorry,
eviction tenants to, it can get quite draining.
Yeah. You don't deal with that, do you? The evictions?
Not personally, but you're still involved.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's interesting. I know something.
You're still involved in the process.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Because it always goes back essentially to you, isn't it?
Yeah.
As the vendor. But how do you juggle being, 23 years old? I think most 23-year-olds, because I'm 23 as well, which is crazy.
Oh, really? Yeah. Social life went out the roof, to be honest with you.
What's that?
My social life went out the roof, to be honest. I mean, I don't really. I don't know how you juggle it, to be honest.
Yeah, because most 23-year-olds are either just finishing university.
Yeah. See, I didn't go to university as well, which I thought was I think university is one of the ways to become successful. I don't think it's the only way, though.
Yeah. Because, they either just finishing uni, trying to get a job, which is difficult, in this current climate. So they're either doing sort of past jobs to get by and working on what they want to do, and also going out, doing what the most 23-year-olds do. So how do you juggle your personal life, your social life, and business at the same time? How do you juggle all those things and manage everyone's expectations?
You're going to let someone down at some point. You got to just sort of balance it out as best as you can. At the end of the day, you've got to people like within your social bubble. I've got to realise if you're an entrepreneur, you're not going to be able to attend every event or be part of everything that everyone does at points. But you try and do your best with everyone, I'd say.
Yeah, I like that. I like how you put that. You know, you're going to upset someone. Yeah, no, I agree.
It's personal though. I think it's just part and parcel.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think you know, definitely the social life is going to be affected through this. I mean, you know, growing a business whilst managing everyone's expectations is difficult. What's your sort of day to day like? You know, are you very much sort of routine based, or do you just sort of go with the day, go with it, you know, how things are flowing?
I am partly routine based, but at the same time, I do get sidetracked with phone calls and, you know, if there's an issue somewhere, then obviously you've got to sort it out. Yeah, I'd say I do set a diary, but if I stick to that diary, I'd be lying to say if I did. My days are quite hectic, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think
it's structured but hectic at the same time, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think you can only know when you're actually in the mix, because I think if somebody looked at anyone's lives that's growing a business, it just looks like chaos.
Right now, just check my phone. It's on Do Not Disturb. There's 14 missed calls, so I know someone needs me somewhere. Sort of thing.
Yeah, you are a difficult guy as well to get hold of after a certain time. I tell you that for sure. Yeah, I think definitely trying to organise your day and sticking to it, definitely two different things.
Yeah, it's not gonna, especially when you're running sites as well.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's actually a good point. I think a lot of people feel that, you know, you have to be robotic and stick to every single thing. I think the overall target and objective has to be achieved, but you know, you have to.
How you get there is
exactly.
Everybody's got their own sort of methods and formulas.
Yeah. So I think I always follow the saying: be rigid with the plan, but flexible with the process.
Yeah, that's an easy way of putting it.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, for you, as you sort of draw close to the end, I mean, what have you got planned now? You know, coming up to the next, let's say, 12 months to 5 years to 10 years. What's next?
Yeah, we've got some massive plans, to be honest. I won't go into them in detail, but we have got some massive plans in terms of growth. We're looking at down south at the moment.
Nice.
We've already got someone procuring sites for us, looking at sites for us down south, who's sort of going to be running that division.
Nice.
Yeah, we've got some real big plans. Not just housing schemes. We want to look at a lot more than just sort of the regeneration projects. We want to do a lot more new builds as well, whether that be housing schemes or blocks of apartments. Because we've been focusing on a lot of conversions, but conversions are a lot harder than new builds as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you're working with the existing structure. Now, I'm not sure if new builds are going to be any more fun than conversions.
Yeah.
Because everyone loves a challenge, but I think we're going to simplify a bit on some of the projects as well.
Yeah. No, definitely. This is what I hear. You know, building from ground up is, of course, I wouldn't say easy. It comes with its own challenges, but it's a lot more straightforward than coming in, stripping things back, and you realise, hang on, we can't move this, we can't do this, and you know, there's always a war between the structural engineers and the architects and stuff like that. No, it's cool. What are the myths in property development or conversions, for example, that you can bust for us? You know, what are the myths that you can debunk? A lot of people think.
Make sure your bathrooms fit and make sure your kitchens fit's a big one.
Really?
Yeah. When you work with existing structures, it's. What would I say that the main things you're going to come across? Your windows are a big one as well. Make sure your schedule of works is bang on, because if one thing is not done correctly or it's not done on time, it's going to have a knock-on effect on everything. Your windows are a big one on conversions. Make sure your sound tests, you've had sample sound tests done. Make sure your floors are going to pass with your impact, and your airborne's going to pass with, you know, going through walls, your insulation in your walls. What else would I say? There's loads of stuff, to be honest with you. You've just got to make sure you're organised on site.
Yeah. And what are the best?
A specialist in each field as well.
I was going to ask that.
I meet a lot of people that use you know, the builders that can say they can do everything. You can't be a plumber, electrician, plasterer, brickie. Get your specialist trades in.
Yeah.
Your plumbing contractors, your electrical contractors, your dry lining contractors, and allocate work to them accordingly.
Okay. Yeah. And
It'll make your projects run a lot more smooth as well, I'd say.
How do you find all these people and also keep costs, you know, down ultimately?
Well, managing it myself is obviously the big thing, not having someone underneath me that runs the project. Me personally being on site, and then my team just built from having 2 people to 5 people to 10 people to 14 people, and hopefully by the end of the year we'll have 25 lads. So we just go from project to project.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
But that's the in-house team, and then obviously we sub out the electrics and the plumbing and the roofing, etc., because we're not qualified to do that as a
the company. Mm-hmm. Okay. No, cool. If you had to sort of go back and speak to your 19-year-old self, what are the things you would tell him? You know,
probably should have believed in myself a lot more, to be honest. I think you can achieve anything if you put your mind to it. I didn't think, even now, I think I meet people and I tell them my age. Like, how did you do that? You know, how did you do this? But I think it's just believing in yourself. I just think age is a number, to be honest. You can achieve anything you want if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, no, definitely. Belief, isn't it? And also seeing it, you know.
Doing it, seeing it, doing it, shadowing someone, picking up little bits here and there. Because when you're running sites or you're buying sites or whatever, you have to have a knowledge of everything. Like, you have to have a little bit of everything. You can't know just one thing. You've got to know little bits of everything. The cost of what it's going to. I can look at a property now and tell you exactly what it's going to cost you to develop it or build it, knock it down, because I've tried and tested it.
Yeah, definitely. I think for most people, it's just how do you get that experience, and the only way to get that experience is either just going it straight into it, you know, shadowing someone.
Yeah, if you can't afford to do it, then shadow someone, and if you can't shadow someone, get a job in property or something.
Yeah.
Estate agency, go and work on site, be a labourer.
Yeah. Okay.
Pick up small things. You probably don't want to do it, but it's all part of your journey.
Yeah. Okay. No, fair play. No, look, I think I've taken down some serious nuggets here. I think what you've achieved so far is it's really exciting to know that there's people, especially sort of same age as myself, I can relate to, who are smashing it, of course, and I'm excited to see what's to come. You know, I want to see some ground up schemes, which would be really interesting. One question I have for you, with a lot of these developers, I suppose, what would be your model? What's your vision in terms of the development schemes? So what I mean by that is, you know, is there a specific demographic, a specific target you have in mind? Because you got your big guys, your Taylor Wimpey's, your Barrett Homes, Simmons, and of course Keepmoats, which are up north. For you, what sort of developer do you want to be known for? You know, do you want to
either your housing schemes or your apartments, mix and match, to be honest. Just homes that people feel great in. And we're not trying to build, you know, £5 million houses.
Okay.
The apartments are high end and they're good value. The houses, you know, they're mid. I wouldn't say they're really, really high end. They're probably mid range, but they're affordable and they're really, really nice houses. If I'm developing a house and selling a house, if I wouldn't live in it, then I wouldn't. The finishes have to be bang on.
Yeah.
Same with an apartment.
Yeah. Okay. No worries at all, man. Look, appreciate you coming on. What advice would you give, of course, someone that's listening right now, whether they're just starting out, they're deep into the industry, or in between? What advice would you give them very, very quickly?
Believe in yourself. Definitely the biggest one. Shadow someone if you can't, if you haven't got the tools to get into property straight away. Shadowing someone's definitely because knowledge is the key.
Yeah.
People will pay for your knowledge rather than pay for your product, I'd say. Knowledge. I mean, I've never been on a property course either, to be honest. You know, there's a lot of people sell courses. I've never been on one. There's a lot of people that shadow me at the minute on site, and they've started doing a few small deals, which is good. Believe in yourself, shadow someone, and be a labourer on site. That's if you want to learn property, you've got to learn the construction trade. Once you learn the construction trade, I'd say in a property, 80% of it is the construction. And then it boils down to the 20% of the numbers, I'd say.
Yeah.
Because if you can't get your construction right, your deal's not going to stack up.
Yeah. Okay. No worries at all. Look, you heard it here, guys. Very, very simple sort of steps. But look, thanks for coming on. Where can people sort of find you? What, socials, stuff like that?
Ryan.rst is my personal, and then you've got rstgroup.co.uk for the business page.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Brilliant. Ryan, it's been a
I hope I've been a help.
Yeah, no, you have. I'm just looking down at my my notes here. No, you've been of help. You know, I just love the journey. I love sort of what you've got in mind in the future, and I'm sure we're definitely going to get in the mix with a few of your projects, some shape or form. Obviously we'll have a chat about that off camera. But no, look, thanks for coming on. Appreciate that, and of course, you've achieved quite a lot at your age, and I'm just super excited to see what's to come. But we're going to sign off with that. Ryan, any last words at all?
Just believe in yourself. Everyone will get there.
Yeah.
Just believe in yourself. That's I'd say that's the key to where I am now. Is just believing in yourself.
Perfect. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in today, and I look forward to speaking with you all and seeing you soon. Without further ado, Ryan, thanks again for coming on, and I'll see you guys all on the other side. Bye for now.